Jumping. Okay, so the last time I went live with this software, it was jumpy like this, and I tested it to make sure it wasn't. It's okay. As long as y'all can hear me, it's gonna be all right. Okay, I think you can. As long as you can hear me, it'll be fine because I'm going to use slides. So I'm so sorry that this is a little jumpy. I don't know what is going on. I really don't. I tested it and it was totally fine before I went live. So just ignore the jumpy footage. You should be able to hear my audio okay. Can you guys let me know for sure in the comments that you can hear my audio okay? Sorry for the jumpy footage. Audio should be fine. Okay, perfect. Yay. I'm so glad. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do this workshop again. It is one of my favorite ones I've ever done. And I don't know. I'm just really excited. So I'm going to try and unplug my camera really quick while y'all are telling me where you're from and all the things and see if I can get this, I don't know, just behaving better. Maybe it just needs a little. Nope, that didn't fix anything. Okay, that's fine. Yay, I'm so glad, guys. I'm so glad. So I'm going to give us just a minute to let everybody come in. If you were to be watching the replay, actually two things. If you're watching the replay, just fast forward through this first few minutes. Second, if you have to hop off at any point during the live or you can't stay for the live, we will be sending out a replay. However, you will miss some awesome stuff that goes on towards the end. So make sure you stick around to the end if you possibly can. So, oh my gosh, we got Virginia Beach. We got Germany. Julie always representing Germany for me. Florida, Georgia line. Okay. Chattanooga, Tennessee. More Georgias. Hold on. San Diego. Panama. Oh, fun. Oh my goodness. So excited. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to my screen. I'm glad I hadn't planned for me to be on the screen the whole time since it's so jumpy. I have got to figure this out. I figured it out before, and here we are with it happening again. So I'm going to X that out. Just know that any questions you have, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments whenever you have them. I don't want you to lose your questions. So if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below or to the side of this video, wherever you're watching it at. And Laura, my assistant, is going to be grabbing those and putting them in a Google Doc. So if I don't get to them right then, like right when you ask them, I will absolutely get to them during the Q&A. So no worries there. Oh, we got Denver, Sweden, Palm Springs, California, Colorado, North Carolina, whoop, whoop, Mississippi, Kansas City, Missouri, Ontario, Canada, South Africa. I love to see it. So, okay. I'm pumped. I don't want to waste your time. So this is going to be jam-packed full of the learnings. Just, fair warning. If you have, for whatever reason, never been on a workshop with me or a webinar with me, just know that I try and pack as much information as I possibly can in the time frame we have together. But also understand that, if you have questions, I'm here to answer them too. Okay? So we're talking today about how to make 10K in 90 days from an online course, even if you're starting from zero. So I mean, you don't have an audience, you don't have an idea, you don't have nothing. And I get that. It's fine. It is no problem. I can promise you that this works, okay? So first and foremost, why should you create a course? That's really the biggest question, okay? Is why should you create a course? I have a feeling if you're on this workshop, you already know why you want to create a course, but just in case that's not the case for whatever reason, let's talk through this, okay? So the reasons you should create a course are way more than what I have listed here, but these are definitely a good start, okay? So they're an easy way to help more people in less time. Anytime we start kind of outgrowing, I guess, if you will, our service-based business or our one-on-one type business, we tend to not know what that next step looks like. Like, oh, I still want to do this. It's just like there's not enough of me going around. And the joke is always, everybody comes back to, like, if I could clone myself, well, this is how you clone yourself. It's easy to help more people in less of your time. Buying courses is a natural step for someone wanting to learn. When I first started creating courses, yes, they were a thing. I'm not that old, but they definitely weren't as mainstream as they are now. And they definitely weren't as like, common knowledge as they are now. So even someone, that's not in the business world, my voice is gonna get mad at me. I'm gonna try not to let it do that. But even someone who's not in the business world will likely automatically go to a course type scenario if they're wanting to learn something. They might go to Google or YouTube first, but then they're gonna be like, oh, this person has a course, let me buy that from them. My husband is a great example. He is currently in the midst, if you follow me other places, you already know this, but he's currently in the midst of quitting his job, which is super exciting. He has about a month left. He gave him a super long notice. But as part of that, he is starting a couple of things on his own. And one of those things requires a licensure from our state, which he already has part of. So anyway, that's not the point. The point is when he wants to go down to the state level and take this test that, he needs to take, but he doesn't know what's on the test. And he's like, I'd love to have a study guide. Do you know that the state doesn't have a study guide? The only way to get access to a study guide is this one feller who has $1,000 course and study guides included in it, which you better believe as soon as my husband passes that test and can, we're doing that too. So it is a natural thing, okay? We live in the information age. People want information. People know that they can go to the internet and get the information they are looking for pretty easily. So before we get started, I want you to shut down your distractions. I'm glad I'm not up on the screen because me dancing around like a crazy person because my camera is jumpy would be a massive distraction. So shut down your distractions. That means close your tabs. Hide your cell phone, lock the kids in the bathroom, whatever that looks like for you. We won't judge you. I promise we won't judge you. There's no judgment here. I will be answering questions at the end, like I said. So if you think of something, you can submit it, or you can wait until the end. If you submit it beforehand, Laura will go ahead and grab those for me, so I can get back to them at the end. So do whichever one, feels good to you. I know for me, if I don't type a question right when I think of it or write it down or something, I won't remember my question. So I want to give y'all that option. So first and foremost, think of something you want to learn. I bet there's a course for it. I mean, we've got courses on online animation and drawing, how to write a novel, becoming more flexible, right? Like yoga flexible, learning the skills to open your own ice cream or frozen dessert business. Y'all, that's hella specific, So there are courses for anything you want to learn. They are very, very prevalent in the B2B world, but they're for sure a thing anywhere you go, okay? So understand that courses are a thing. That's the main point of all of this. I want you to understand that, okay? So I have a question, and this can be with a little raisey hand emoji in the comments or just like a me, whatever you want to say. Are you currently a service provider who's providing some type of one-on-one service to people and you're feeling like, oh, okay, I'm done. I need to be doing something else. This is not going to work for me much longer. If that is you, raise your hand. This is somebody like a web designer, or if you're doing virtual assistant work, or if you're doing copywriting, or, you're even doing one-on-one. I mean, it could be anything, right? Any kind of one-on-one work. So those of you just joining, hi. I would love to hear where you're from, but then also if you identify with this particular statement, please hit me with a yep, me, an emoji, a something, I don't care. Oh, lots of yeps coming in. Amanda, yes. Dee, yes. Becky, yes. Jazzy, yes. Carrie, oh my goodness. Yes. All the yeses. Listen, I was there. And actually, I'm going to tell you about me being there here in just a second. Okay. So yeah. And I see y'all dumping your questions. Yay for that. Don't worry. I'll get to them in just a minute. Okay. So maybe you just aren't making money. So maybe you're not a service provider. Okay. Maybe you're just getting started in business, or you're trying to decide what you should do with a business and you need something that's going to work. If that's you, raise your hand. So I'm going to let y'all just raise your hand for either one of these scenarios, because I feel like if you're looking at creating a course, it's going to be one of these two things. It's going to be one of the two, okay? If you're a content creator who is like, oh, I've got to diversify that income, you fall in this category. So yes. Oh, hello from the UK. Awesome. So let me tell you my story. If you have been around a while, you've probably heard this, so I won't dive into it too much, if you will. But I was a web designer, and yes, you can be both. Several of you in the comments are like, can I be both? Yes. So I was a web designer from 2010 to 2015. I only did website design, or graphic design too, okay? And let me tell you that from 2010 to 2015, I also fit in that both category. I was doing a service, but I was basically charging nothing. I was only working on word of mouth. I didn't have, there just wasn't the resources we have now for like Facebook groups and all the things in the beginning of that. And I was struggling. So I was both a service provider who was burnt out, but also not making any money. So trust me when I tell you that I get it, okay? So I eventually raised my prices. In 2015, I raised my prices drastically, but I was still in that burnt out scenario. I was like, well, I'm burnt out and making more money now. That doesn't help anything, right? I just had to get out of it. For me personally, to be 100% honest, like 99% of I put 80% here, but it was like 99% of my clients were massive pains in the booty. It was just something all the time, and I never felt like my time was my own, and so I felt like I had to get out of that, okay? In 2016, I did just that. So in 2016, I launched my first successful course. Let's talk about that, because I did launch a course in 2015 that sold zero. I sold zero of, like zero, not a nothing. But I did launch my first successful course in 2016 with less than 500 people on my email list, and I ditched web design once and for all. Not only did I do that, not only did I have less than 500 people in my email list, but I built up those 500 people and the people who bought that course in less than about 3 or 4 months, maybe 5, after that first failed launch. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, like, if I can like muddle around and do this, if I can not have any clue what I'm doing in 2015 to 2016 and figure out how to do this, I promise you I have nailed down the strategy, and that's what I'm teaching you today, okay? I now have a multi-six-figure per year business where 80% of that income, 80%, comes from course sales. So clients don't get to boss me around. I don't even have clients. It's not a thing for me anymore, okay? And I want this for you. I remember what it felt like to be there, where you were like, oh, I just feel like I want to make money in my sleep and like be that person. And I get that. I really do, okay? So today we're going to talk about how to pick your course topic, okay? That's the number one thing we're going to talk about. How to audience build while you gear up to your launch, and then launching in 12 weeks. Now, I'm dumping a lot on you. I really want to provide a lot of information. So bear with me if I talk fast, and we breeze through this, but just know this is here to watch again if you need to, okay? So I bet that, Becky says, I want this for me too. Yes, girl. I bet that some of you, maybe all of you, are sitting there like, I feel like I'm so far away from creating a course, okay? Because, and it could be all of these, it could be one of these. One, you don't have an audience, or maybe you have a teeny tiny baby audience, which I get and respect, right? Two, you don't really know what a course would be about, right? Like, you don't have any clue what your course might be about. So you're like, I want to create a course that I have no clue what that means, right? And you have no clue where to start, right? Can I get another set of raisy praisy hands? Because I understand how that is. When I first started selling courses, there was nobody teaching how to create courses, because I searched, trust me. I'm like, okay, I want to create a course, but how do I do it? No clue. I just had to guess and go from there. And I didn't have an audience, and it felt really like, ugh, like I remember that feeling so very much. And y'all, I'll be honest, sometimes I still feel this way. Sometimes I will sit down and try and plan out things in my business, and I still feel like I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what this is going to be about. I don't know where to start. So trust me when I tell you I get it. Now, we're going to Michelle Tanner this. We're going to be pumped. That is Michelle, right? Yes, Michelle. We're going to be pumped because we're going to chat through all of this, right? Oh, I love a good use of some good gifts. Some good gifts are always worth the time for me. So if you are new to me, I won't spend much time telling you about like actually myself. But hi, if you're new to me. If you're not new to me, hi too. I'm Jessica, and I launched my first course, like I said, in 2015, and it completely flopped. Like, I'm not playing, y'all. It made 0. It's so funny. Oh, I should have screenshotted that. So you know how on Facebook your memories will show up? Like, you know, your memories from 5 years ago or whatever. Well, I had a photo shoot done by like my husband's cousin who took all my brand photos at the time. I had this photo shoot done this many years ago. So it would have been in 2015. What's that? 6 years ago at this time of year. And it said, so enjoyed, like my status was like, so enjoyed having new brand photos done for Hey Jessica, which is my brand, and for the Creative Cubicle, which was the course I launched that sold 0. So I paid to have brand photos done. I did all the things I thought you were supposed to do, and I sold nothing. Literally nothing. It sucked so bad. I almost gave up. I cried. It was like a whole thing. But because like in my eyes, it was like, oh, course creation just isn't for me. And some of you may be in that seat too. And I don't want to like breeze over that, because sometimes we can go ahead and launch that course without knowing a lot about how to do that or what that looks like. And we can sell, you know, not so great numbers of it. And then we feel like we're not, you know, that's not meant for us or whatever. So trust me when I tell you I've been at every single point in this journey. But then, oh, I love this gift. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Okay. I spent about 5 months. See, I knew I had the number in here somewhere. 5 months building up my audience with free content. I didn't run not one single paid ad, okay? I got really clear on a course that would be transformational for my audience. Please remember that word, because we're going to talk a lot about that, okay? Transformational for my audience. I launched a different course because the first course was not transformational. It wasn't niched down enough. But I launched a different course 5 months later, and I made $10,000. $10,000 was 2 or 3 web design clients for me. And on a 500-person audience, I felt like I was rolling in the dough. And I was at the time, you know. I've since created and sold multiple 6-figure earning courses. So there have been multiple courses in my portfolio that have went on to, you know, be 6-figure earners themselves. So you can do this too, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about, you know, how my students love my courses. Here's what I want to say here is that when I'm telling you that I know how to build a course and that I know how to make sure it is transformational for your audience, this is the proof behind it, okay? So these are testimonials from multiple of our courses where people are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This helped me so much. Like this first one where when she took my Insta Sales School course, her reach went up by 93%, impressions by 295%, and website taps by 900% just from taking my course. So this is what you want, okay? So you want to not only create an awesome course that's going to sell, but you want people to then have massive transformation so that you can continue to use that to sell the course on down the road, okay? All right, topic for your course. Do you have a topic for your course? I'm going to slide I hid my chat just a second ago because I didn't want to be distracted, but I'm going to slide it back over. Does anybody have a topic already for your course? If you do, I'd love for you to type it in the chat. If you say yes or no, like if you already have a topic or you don't, you probably don't have the right topic. Now listen, I'm like Kirk here. We're going to keep it real, okay? 99% of the time, people come to me and they're like, this is my course topic. And I say, niche it down even further, because that is the key to making sure your topic is actually what we want it to be, okay? So I think there's a couple comments coming in. Oh, nope. Vanessa says, nope, I do not have a course topic. I get it. That's okay. So I actually think sometimes you're better off not having one because then there's nothing to break down. You know what I mean? But Anna, since you do have one, that is okay. And I want you to take what I say here and make sure your course topic is like meets all of these things, okay? The mistakes I see people make when they create their course topic is one, it's too broad. Let me refer back to my first course, okay? It was a course called The Creative Cubicle, and actually it would be what we would consider a membership site today. That wasn't really a thing, honestly, back then, but that's what it would have been. And it was for all creatives. Like, too broad, okay? Too broad. Hula hoop, spiritual, dance, fitness. Now that is definitely not broad, Courtney. You get a check plus, okay? Okay. Someone said, and I want to answer this one now because it's going to be, it's going to be relevant. Someone says, what if I have 500 course ideas and no idea how to narrow it down? Use everything we talk about and come up with one that can go now. It doesn't mean you can't create those other 499 courses, okay? I already have a course made, just no audience. What if I have multiple ideas? Carrie, I just answered that. Okay, so first, too broad. So if you have a lot of ideas, these might help you check them off, okay? Like mark some off and be like, oh, that is not the right idea for me. That's not gonna work for me, okay? Or like you might find other ways that we talk about throughout this webinar to mark that off. But what I would also say is if you had to stand up on stage, if I was like, hey y'all, you have 20 minutes up on stage, you have to go right now. You have to speak for 20 minutes as an expert on a topic, no notes, no planning. What could you talk about? That is going to help you narrow down a lot of those ideas as well, okay? What is your most expertest thing? My grammar here is great. Okay, so mistake one, too broad. It's way too broad. Like I say, mine was for all creatives, or it's for this, I want to teach you how to create funnels. That's too broad. It needs to be a specific type of funnel or a specific reason someone's creating a funnel, okay? Number 2 mistake I see is that it doesn't actually solve a problem. It doesn't actually take people from point A, having problem, to point B, having solution, okay? Does it actually solve a problem, right? That is a key component to a course. Or it's too fluffy, okay? Or it's too fluffy. It's too frou-frou. I'm going to talk through an example about that here in a second. But above all else, the mistake that I see people making the most with their course topics is that it's not tangible enough. It has to be tangible. Those of you who are teaching something like, I would say like meditation, mindset, things that are not an actually tangible topic, I'll see you struggling with this, but that's okay because we're going to talk about it. So write these things down. Make sure it's not too broad. Make sure it solves a specific problem, isn't too fluffy, and it's tangible. Those are the boxes you have to check to make sure your topic is the right one, okay? Now, actually, let me go back. This too broad situation. I want you to understand that you don't have to teach everything that's absolutely necessary for that process in your course. So if I'm going to teach how to create a course, right? Like if I'm going to sell you Course Academy here at the end of this webinar, because I totally am, and that's a course on how to create and sell your first successful course, and it's breaking everything down, right? And I also really want to teach you how to scale that course. That's not the same course because I'm teaching you how to create and sell your first course. You're going to come back to me later for a course or a program or something on how to scale it once you've made money from it, okay? So an example of something being tangible, instead of improve your mindset, it needs to become more confident in 90 days. That's massively tangible. Someone can get to the end of 90 days and be like, oh, I'm totally more confident than I was when I started this, okay? Tangible equals dollars. Tangible equals money. Those of you who are a bit more in the, intangible fields, try and flip your thing into something tangible like this. So if it's like how to improve your yoga practice, that's still kind of intangible, because like improvement to me might be very different than improvement to someone else, right? So improving that might, more so become a course on, be more flexible, become more flexible in 2 weeks, or master 12 yoga poses in 1 month, or like whatever. You get what I'm saying? It has to be tangible, okay? All right. Raise your hand if you're worried that your audience isn't big enough to launch a course. So we talked a second ago about all of you who were kind of in this realm. Tell me about it. Also, I see all your questions. I'm going to answer them. Actually, while y'all are raising your hands, let me scroll through and see if there's a specific one that I want to pick from to answer now, and then I'll save the rest for later, okay? So hopefully, Amanda, me breaking down what tangible meant on that last slide applies or helped you. But like, okay, so Seeking Heaven, the Near-Death Experience, your channel. Sorry, I don't know your name. Heaven's Secrets of Successful Living. That's fine, but like, what does successful living mean? Like, what is success, And who is going to determine that? And how are they going to get a tangible result from that? Because that's not a tangible thing. Success is very subjective, So I would encourage you to, sorry, I'm scrolling because I want to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. I want to encourage you to narrow that down even more. Like, Heaven's Secrets to finding your dream job, Heaven's Secrets to becoming the mom you want to be, right? Like, those are very different, okay? All right, so I see lots of raising hands saying you are worried that your audience isn't big enough to launch a course. I get it. I really, really do. Oh, okay. Is it Tamara or Tamra? Just tell me that and I'll remember it. I have a friend that's named Tamara, but I also have a sister, not a sister, a cousin named Tamara. So I never know. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. All right. We're going to click through here. I want to tell you about my client, Sarah. So remember that we're specifically talking about small audiences, especially in this entire workshop, but right in this section of it, okay? I'm using a code name for her because I did not ask her permission to share this, nor did I ask her permission to share down share her exact niche, and I'm not sure if she'd want me to, so I'm gonna change names for the guilty, if you will. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so here's what's up. When I'm telling you about her example, it is very, very similar to what she actually did, okay? I made it as similar as I could possibly be without giving away everything. So this was a one-on-one client I had a couple of years ago, and I helped her develop a strategy to grow an audience and launch a course, okay? We did it in a little bit longer than 90 days because she had some personal things going on, but it's the same strategy that I teach in general, okay? So she started with no audience, none, okay? Zero audience, zero. She was a service provider and she was making really good money as a service provider. People were flying her out to consult for them. So it was something like, let's say it was restaurant. Okay. So they were flying her out to consult them on how to open a restaurant, right? But she didn't have an actual audience for her, her course. So she started with zero. She had a very niched course topic. So remember, restaurant. If you're going to teach people how to open a restaurant, that is very, very niched. And hers was even more niched than that, honestly. Then we spent about 12 weeks building her audience. It probably was a little bit more. I'd actually love to go back and look at her calendar because I do remember there were some personal things that popped up for her. And at her first webinar to sell her $1,000 course, she had 250 people who signed up for the webinar. That was a massive chunk of the audience we had built. We did not build this massive audience during that 12-week period. I would say she only had an audience of 300 people and 250 of them signed up for her webinar. That's magic all on its own, okay? 50 people of the 250 people purchased at $1,000 each, which means she had a $50,000 launch within 3 months, literally of starting from zero. Zero audience, very, very niched course topic, like almost concerningly niched, because it was like, can we even find the right people who want this? And only 250 people really in her audience who cared about it, okay? $50,000. She's went on to create several more successful launches throughout like the last few years with that same strategy, okay? You do not need a huge audience to launch a course. Y'all, I mean, let's math this, okay? If 10 people buy a $1,000 course, you just made $10,000. I am willing to bet that for someone, somebody says they don't have any sound. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, Kristen, she can't hear me. Okay. Laura might type in there for her to restart or something. Okay, perfect. Anyway, so I would bet, like I would put money on the fact that a lot of you would just be so ecstatic and almost maybe even have your life changed having a $10,000 launch. Like I would almost bet that some of you would fall in that category. I know I did. I remember that when I made my first $10,000 launch, which was that first successful course in 2016, I remember that I was just like, I just sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never made $10,000 a day in my life or a year, not a year in my life, but like, in my life. And here I just made it in a day. Like what in the world? So I just want you to understand that you don't need a massive audience to have this transformation. Okay. I guarantee you can find 10 people to buy if you try hard enough. And with 90 days, you're going to have enough time. Okay. I know it sounds like a long time and it sounds like not enough time all at the same time. And I get it. Your life could literally change in 12 weeks because 12 weeks, 90 days is your launch period. And I'm going to give you a few secrets, okay? During that 12-week period, so either the next 12 weeks from this webinar or whenever you go to launch your course, you're going to 1, prepare for an epic launch, 2, build your audience. That's it, okay? Well, first, you're going to come back and hug me when you do really well. But honest to Pete, that 12-week period doesn't need to be spent doing the things you think it does. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second. You're going to prepare for an epic launch. You're going to have everything in place because 12 weeks is a very long time to be able to get everything in place for this launch. And you're going to build your audience like you have never built anything in your life, like your life depends on it. What you need in place to do this is one content platform to focus on for audience growth. One. I don't want you to try to do a bunch. Remember, we have 12 weeks, 90 days. The point here is to build your audience enough to where when you launch at the end of that 90 days, there are people there to purchase it, okay? And yes, I know what a lot of you might be thinking is like, well, I've tried to build my audience thus far, and I still haven't gotten very far. I promise it's not been a balls to the wall strategy like you would use in a 12-week lead up. And it's also not been super specific to a course launch, Okay, so sorry, I moved my screen around a little. But you're going to have one content platform to focus on for audience growth, okay? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But listen, YouTube is not now is not the time to start YouTube. So if you already have a YouTube channel, use it. A podcast, a blog, if you already have those things, use them. But go where your audience is. If your audience is on Instagram, go there. If your audience is on Facebook, go there. If you already have a YouTube channel, you already have an audience there. Go there, right? So one content platform, okay? Remember, we're speaking about a 12-week period. One content platform. The ideal client for your course. Okay, so this is where we get specific again. When we're talking about transformational courses, you have to know who that person is before they purchase your course. So maybe it is someone who, I'm just trying to think of it like a non-business example, okay? Someone who wants to, I could scroll up through y'all's ideas and see them in like 20 million seconds. Okay, so let's see here. Let me scroll up through here. Monetizing, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I want. Okay. The hula hoop spiritual dance fitness. Let's go with that one. That's fun to me. Okay. So let's say that you are creating a course about hula hoop spiritual dance fitness. The person who wants to purchase that is a different person than wants to purchase like a CrossFit course, right? So it may be someone who is overweight or who is, sedentary. They need to get active, and all of the workouts that they're seeing are not things that they would ever do because it's intimidating to them. So you are going after a person who fits all of those descriptors. That's content. You have to know that. You have to know who this person is to know what content to create for them, okay? So who is that person who's right for your course? What kind of questions are they asking? What kind of things are they saying now before they're ready for your course for you to put out content on these platforms, right? The customer journey you want to take these ideal clients on has to be understood as well, okay? Where are they before they need you, and where will they be after your course? Again, who are they now? Because you have to know who they are now to create the content that's going to attract them, right? You don't want to talk about who they'll be in the future because your course is the pathway for them to get there. You want to talk about who they are now. They are frustrated. Okay, let's just take this webinar, for example. Y'all are frustrated with your service-based business. You're not making any money. You really want to create a course and get out of service. You don't have an audience. I know you, right? Like, I know you. And the content I'm creating is for you now, not for you in the future. If I was doing a workshop all about how to scale your course, how to make $100,000 from your course, then the people who I went after for this workshop would not be the same person, okay? So where are they before they need you, and where will they be after? You have to understand the bridge journey there. So they're at point A, you're going to take them to point B, and your course is the bridge that takes them there, okay? So understand those things. That's what you need in place to do the things I talked about for 12 weeks, which is create content so much so that you're attracting your people. Create content that gets in front of the right people, gets them to know, like, and trust you, and gets them to sign up for your launch, okay? That's what your content's supposed to do. Get in front of them, get them to know, like, and trust you, and gets them eventually to sign up for your launch, whatever that looks like. But you know what you don't need? So remember, I'm going to go back. 12 weeks, you need to prepare for an epic launch, and you need to build your audience. You need content. You need to know where they're going, how you're going to get them there, who they are. But you don't need to build the course. And actually, I would recommend you don't build the course before you sell it. What does that even mean? Right? Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't make sense. That does not compute. So I do not want you creating the course before you sell it. Okay? The reason is most of you are solopreneurs. Most of you do not have a team behind you who's going to help you do all of this stuff. And if you spend the next 90 days, one, making money in the way you make money now, right? Like already doing the things you're already doing. Two, doing the process that needs to happen to build this audience, like doing the things that need to happen to get this audience built, and building a course and building out a launch, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your mind. So I want you to focus on building the audience, creating a launch. That's it. I don't want you to build the course. So what does that even mean, right? Actually, let me back up. Because last time I didn't hit on this enough, and I really want to make sure I do. So that could look like a ton of different things, but this is what almost everybody does in their first course launch. And even like quote unquote the big dogs, which we'll talk about in a second, they are going to do this in the first launch of a new course. So you can either launch it and run it live. So you're getting live feedback, you are releasing the modules live, you are doing that type of thing. Or you can launch it and create it on a drip schedule. So it's like, okay, well, week 1, you're going to get these lessons. Week 2, you're going to get these lessons. And that way you're not creating the lessons until it's time for the course students to have them. Okay? So I do not want you creating the course. You've got to know what it's about. You've got to niche it down. You've got to know who it's for. You've got to know where they are now and where they want to be so you can create content to attract them, but you don't need to create the course. Also, courses are not just for quote unquote the big dogs. You know, we hear about all these people that are making, millions of dollars with their launches. You know, we're looking at like Amy Porterfield or Marie Forleo or, whomever else. And they're talking about all of these massive results they get. But here's the deal. I have made more than full-time income from courses over the last 5 years. And in the first year, I had less than 500 subscribers on YouTube. My email list was under 1,000 people. And I definitely was not some big, well-known person. Now, I may have a larger audience now, but for a lot of the period of the last 5 years that I have been full-time in course creation or in, the infopreneur space, I did not have a massive audience. So you can make a full-time income even if your audience is small now and even if it continues to be small throughout it, okay? Courses are not hard. This is what it really consists of, okay? The right topic, the right person, the right problem, and the right solution. And then a runway of at least 90 days to create the content that builds your audience. So to make 10K in 90 days, you need to know the right topic, the right person who wants to purchase that from you, the right problem you're solving, the right solution that they need. And over the next 90 days, you're going to create content to attract those right people who have the right problem so that when you get ready to launch 90 days from now, you have the right solution for them. Okay? This is this is courses. Did you like that? I was like talking so fast, my mouth couldn't catch up. So this is courses. This is what you need. You don't need, yes, of course you eventually need the tech, how to construct it, how to make the course. You need all of that, of course. But as far as launching it and as far as building it, this is what you need, okay? Trust me, y'all, I'm seeing y'all's questions. I swear I'm going to get to them, okay? We're going to have a nice long question and answer, okay? So in the next 90 days, if you jump off this webinar and you're like, hey, I want to create my course today, I want to launch in 90 days from today. You're going to create content that gets in front of the right people like we talked about. You're going to nail down your messaging. So this is where are they now? Where do they want to be? And how are you going to take them there? And you're going to launch. And that is it. You're not going to build the course, okay? So again, here's some fun testimonials from some courses that I've created that have helped people get those transformations, okay? So this one on the bottom, the pink one, is from my YouTube Rockstars course, and they hit 150 subscribers when before my course, they were at 25 subscribers. The top one on Insta Sales School, their engagement and growth and all of the jazz that we measure, over 1,000% increase, okay? So the reason I'm throwing these in here is because this is transformational. This is tangible. This is tactical. Someone can literally say, I went from 25 subscribers to 150. I went from, this to this. I went from no course to creating a course. I went from a course that didn't sell anything to making 10K, like whatever the scenario is, okay? We have barely scratched the surface, honestly. Like it's a whole bucket of a whole, lot of stuff when it comes to creating a course. And I want to have tons of time for your questions, but I want to make you a promise. And that is that if you're burnt out, if you're on the edge of giving up, okay, and you're dying to make money in your sleep, if you are willing to put in the work, you can make it happen. That's really what this comes down to. There are a lot of people who are like, yes, I'm so tired of clients. I need to make money. I want to create a course, but they're not willing to put in the work it takes to build the audience who will then buy their course, okay? But if you're willing to put in the work, you can make it happen. Somebody asked if I still offer my YouTube Rockstars course. Yes, I do. All right. I want to help you create your course. Now stick around because at the very end, I'm going to answer all the questions. I'm hoping my video fixes itself before then, but I'm not making any promises because my mouse is jumpy still. So I may not leave my face on camera, but I want to help you do this. I want to help you create your first course. I want to be the person showing you how to create the course and showing you how to launch it and what content to create and when and how, and showing you how all of this works, okay? I have a brand new course. I just launched it in June, so it's still very new. And it's a comprehensive course to help you turn your knowledge and expertise into a course that sells in your sleep. It's not like other courses, okay? This is specifically designed to help you create and sell your first course, or at least your first successful one. It's not, to help you scale a course that's already making good money. If you've flopped a course, that's okay. This is going to help you. But if you're already making decent money, this course is not for you. If you're already making decent money with a course, that is. This course is not for you because this is going to step you through how to create and sell your very first course, okay? And be successful. There are 6 jam-packed modules that are going to teach you how to pick the right topic. So remember back to what we were talking about. We're going to dive deep into that. How to pick the right topic, the customer journey, the positioning, because that is the key to sales right there. You can build the audience all day long, but if you don't have all of that down, you won't make those sales, okay? How to name and price your course, because those are definitely the biggest questions I get. How to build your audience in no time. So like actually how you build the audience and where to put them. Where to put them while you're housing them, waiting to launch. How to launch and actually sell. How to build it. Everything about the tech, all of that good jazz is in here. You can just go to getcoursecademy.com. If you're watching on the live page, not on YouTube, you can scroll down and there's a button, or Laura will pop the URL in the chat. But not only are you going to get the course, but there's a ton of bonuses, okay? And resources. So inside the course, built in, there's Trello and ClickUp templates, checklists, copy and email swap files. So like sales page copy and email sales copy, which are massive. Like there are people selling that for thousands of dollars. There are worksheets and so much more. But again, there's a ton of bonuses, and there's bonuses if you purchase now on the webinar too. So I'm going to tell you about those in a second. So bonuses are 50% off the course. I actually planned to mark this course up to its full price of $19.97 for this workshop or for this particular launch, but I decided against it because I really feel like there are several of you who are still not at that point, but you could probably swing a monthly payment of $175, okay? There is a launch with a pop-up Facebook group bonus training. That is a bonus. And what I mean by that is if you want to launch your course with a challenge or a pop-up Facebook group, I teach you how to do that. There's also a webinar launch bonus training. It's going to give you the slide template and like swipe copy for the process of selling on a webinar, just like I've done for you today, right? There's a 12-week calendar to help you actually get it done and a timeline to help you hold you accountable. So I'm going to tell you within 12 weeks what you should have done within the course and within your launch process. So it's one thing to know what you should do, but it's another to actually do it, okay? You'll also get monthly live Q&A calls for 3 months with me. So every month we schedule a Q&A call for Course Academy students only. You get to hop on. We can talk about your course specifically, any questions you have about the course itself, all of that good jazz. I don't do that for any of my other courses. You're also going to get 3 months free of Hustle and Grit Club to ask your questions. So I'm not doing specific Facebook groups anymore to let my students join to ask their questions because it got too messy. So now you get 3 months inside my membership to ask your questions there and get access to all of the information there. Facebook ads, mini training, and copy template. So if you do want to run paid ads, I've got you. And other bonuses that I might release throughout the next few days that are really good, okay? So I promise this is all really, really good. And this is what you get if you buy today, okay? This is what you get if you buy now. But if you buy literally now, like on the webinar before I'm done with the Q&A, remember I'm going to answer questions here in just a second. If you buy now, you also get a launch plan audit from me. What that looks like is once you go through the course and you know how to build out your launch plan and you know how to create content, you submit that to us and I will actually audit it and say, you know, I think you should do more content here. I think you should do more content there. I think you should do this differently, etc. And you'll get a t-shirt that says, I have a course for that. I'm going to quickly turn my camera back on, even though it's jumpy. I'm sorry if you joined late, my camera's jumpy for some reason, but I have the shirt on and I love it. So if you join today, you're also going to get this shirt, okay? That is on the webinar only that you get that audit. I'm not doing that for anybody else, and the shirt, okay? You'll get emails after you purchase that'll tell you how to take advantage, okay? So just to break it all down, you're getting all the modules in the course at 50% off, okay? You're getting a pop-up group launch training, a webinar launch training, 12-week game plan, monthly Q&A calls, which I don't do for anything else, 3 months free of Hustle and Grit Club, worksheets, templates, resources, Trello and ClickUp boards, and all of the other bonuses I mentioned for only $9.97 today, okay? And there are payment plans, okay? You can get started for $175 today, and all you have to do is go to getcoursecademy.com, okay? I truly do want you to have the freedom to create your own schedule and make money whenever you want to. This feels really good. This is an actual screenshot of my phone, okay? You've been paid. I have this, happen anytime I make money. And I get these text messages that are like, you've been paid, you've made a sale, a course about ClickUp. You made a sale, a course about ClickUp. You made a sale, YouTube Starter Toolkit. And it feels glorious because I can, not feel like I have to work myself to the bones to make money. And I want that. I truly do want that for all of you. Okay. So again, get started today for $175, getcoursecademy.com. And during the Q&A, you have to purchase during the Q&A to get the launch plan audit from me and the t-shirt, okay? But also, some of these bonuses are expiring today as well. So make sure you purchase on the webinar if that's something you want to do. I don't want you to waste another minute like trying to do it on yourself or for yourself, or I don't want you to leave here and be like, oh, I really wish that was something I could do and I'm sad that I can't, okay? So it's all up to you. You can do it or don't, but I really do want you to do that. And if you sign up for this workshop, I know that you're ready, okay? So I'm going to answer questions and leave this screen up so you can see the URL and all the things. Also, this will be your last chance to get the course for 50% off, okay? $9.97. It's going to go up to $19.97 after this webinar, okay? So let me go pull up my document from Laura to see the questions that y'all are asking me because she has organized them all purty for me, okay? So I don't know this person's name because I'm not going to butcher it, but I have heard from other course creators that courses have a higher refund rate because sometimes you can't vet them. How to reduce this? So a couple of things. One, I want you to have a refund policy for your course. So, let them know that you truly back your course and you want them to succeed. And if they do your course and they don't get the results they want, they can have a refund. You can see how we do that by going to the sales page, the getcoursecademy.com. It's at the very bottom, I think. But I will also say that we don't even get a lot of requests for refunds from courses. It's more so digital products that we get the most request for refunds from. So I wouldn't say that's true in my business at all. And honestly, if you build up the trust with your audience before you sell them a course, it's not going to be that big of a deal for them to trust you that you're going to take care of them in a course, if that makes sense. Okay, so Kim said, I am selling vitamins and herbal teas. How can I create a course, please? So a course could be how to do a certain thing. Okay, so how to do a certain thing with tea. So like how to how to lose weight is the first one that comes to mind. Like how to lose weight with, herbal supplements. How to clear up your acne organically. Things like that could totally work for you. Natalie said, what about a course inside a membership site? So you want to think, first of all, everything I talked about still applies if it's inside of a membership site, but also understand that these are two different things and they need to be marketed in two different ways, because a course is a standalone situation and a course inside of a membership is generally going to be more like a training, if you will. So I want you to kind of decide what you want to do. If you don't have a large if you don't have a large audience, I would kind of caution against a membership if you haven't already done it. The reason is, if you don't have a large audience, the odds are there won't be a ton of people who join your membership, and then it's going to feel as if they are getting access to you that you would normally charge a premium amount for pretty cheap, because there's only a few people in there. So I would suggest keeping, a course that you want to launch separate from a membership, maybe making the membership an add-on. So for instance, with this, right? Like with this course, I give you access to the Hustle and Grit Club, which is my membership, but they are very, very different. And it's an add-on specifically for that, okay? So I just saw a question pop up that I felt like I wanted to hit. Wait, why is my screen not? There we go. I created this course marketed on my YouTube channel with 11,000 subs and social media platforms and my database of 2,000 clients. 10 tips to overcome grief and regain your joy, and I only sold one ticket. Here's the thing. Is your audience the people for your course? Because I can tell you right now that the majority of my YouTube audience is not the same person I would sell this course to. I'm not saying they all aren't. I'm just saying some of them aren't. So if you haven't specifically, those numbers don't mean anything if those people aren't specifically dealing with grief, right? Only. So my course would solve that by helping you position it correctly, number one. Number two, helping you gain people that are exactly right for that course, even outside of a larger audience, right? Because again, for me, I do this same process to launch my courses. I may have a lot of subscribers on YouTube or a lot of email subscribers, but they're not all specifically wanting a thing I'm creating a course about. They're not all specifically wanting a course about how to create courses, right? They are specifically wanting my help in some way, but it's been a lot of years since I have built that list, and it may be that they're not specific to that course. So, okay, I'm going back up and I'm coming back down, I promise. I have a course but need to figure out how to put it online instead of me teaching directly. Is this for me? Absolutely, this is for you. I teach you how to do it both ways, to teach it live or to teach it pre-recorded. And the fact that you already have a course means that you can take everything you learn in the course and pre-record everything, because you have baby stepped over one of the steps in the course. So absolutely, it would work perfect for you. Ashley said, what about mini courses? I'm designing a mini course for beginner product photography called Product Photography Mini Lighting Course. Okay. Do mini courses do equally as well as large courses? If you have a small audience, you're going to be disappointed with a mini course because the cost is so much less, right? So if you are selling a course for $27 and only 20 people purchase because you have a small audience, versus selling a big course that's $1,000 and 10 people purchase because you have a small audience, you can see the difference there. So if you have a small audience, I would actually suggest that you either create a large course and have a mini course that is kind of a teaser for that course. So you could still sell it, but everybody who wanted that mini course would also want your big course. I teach that inside Course Academy too. Okay. Or just go ahead and put what you were going to put in the mini course in the larger course. I have an idea, but I'm not sure if this is niched down enough. Create 30 days of social media graphics in a week. Can you let me know if the above title is niche down? From Christina. So yes, but it sounds more like the webinar or the challenge that you would host to get people into a course. So what I would do is more so, how to create social media graphics in so many hours a week, right? Like how to create social media graphics in no time, or with Canva or something really specific there. And then I would host a challenge of, what you said there to get them in it. I'm struggling with high prices for personal development courses. Biz courses are a different animal, right or wrong? They can be. Now, what I will say, this is a great topic to hit on. So what I will say is that when you're selling B2B, business to business, versus selling B2C, business to consumer, you are going to have to price differently. I talk very much so about this in Course Academy because it is a real thing. You are going to have to price them differently because people who are I'm saying just, but it's not, I don't mean just a consumer, like they're not in the business world, are going to think you're insane if you try and charge them $1,000 for a course. The people in the business world are like, oh, $1,000? Yeah, sure, whatever. So yes, there is an element there. Personal development inches towards business though. I will say people are willing to spend a little more on personal development. So inside Course Academy, I really go into like how to price based on who you're selling to as well as like what's in the course, okay? But you're right. There is a little bit of a difference there. So what about TikTok? Courtney, can you expand on that question for me? You were probably directing it towards something I was saying right then. But yeah, I'm not totally sure what you were talking about. So, Tamara, sorry. Will you help us sell the value for $1,000 per person, and do you use PayPal for the payments? You can use either one, PayPal or Stripe, when you purchase the course. But as far as like, I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to make any amount of money from the course because you have to put the work in, because that is on you. I'm giving you everything you need to do that, but you have to put the work in, right? But again, it may not be that you need to sell your course for $1,000 per person, because maybe those people aren't ready to pay that. Like I was just talking, can a course also be life coaching? Yes, you could totally do life coaching and do mindset, but it may be that you are not necessarily able to charge $1,000, but we can talk about that in the course. And you can definitely ask that question once you join, more specifically, right? So Nancy, can this be purchased for a gift? Absolutely. If you want to buy it on the webinar so you get the bonuses, and then when you get the confirmation email, just email us back. Laura can take care of you. That is no problem. Nancy, that really is sweet. Rich is right. That is super sweet. Okay. How do I go about an email list? From Amanda. Okay, so an email list is a lot of what I teach in Course Academy as well, is where I teach you to kind of house the people you gather during that 90 days, because that's how people are going to be in one place for you to email them and, buy from you, right? Like, so that's a really good place to house them. As far as like let me go back. Oh, how do you go about an email list? You can build it in a ton of different ways. I actually have some free YouTube videos here on the channel that'll help you get started with an email list. But I do talk quite a bit about that in the course, because it is where I want you to funnel your audience to. Should we focus on building a Facebook group to nurture first, or an email list? From Becky. It depends on your audience. I kind of go back and forth depending on the audience. I would never tell you to do a Facebook group over top of an email list, but I would tell you in certain scenarios, if your people want a Facebook group, that it's a really great way to get in there and get in the trenches with them and build that know, like, and trust in addition to an email list, okay? What if I do have a big audience? Oh, I already answered your question. I'm sorry. Would you have advice on teaming with Amazon to sell work gear, safety gear for my course, blog, or possible podcast. So Amazon is not going to team up with most people. They're going to want you to just be an affiliate. So that's where I would point you there, unless you have a really massive audience, and then they might be interested in a partnership. And I would just suggest like Googling a contact there. Will you be able to help us niche down our course topic? Absolutely, Natalie. So the course itself will help you niche down your course topic, but then you have access to me on Hustle and Grit and those monthly Q&A calls, so we can, chat through that if you are really stuck, okay? What do you suggest for those of us that teach mindset? Vanessa asked that. So again, we've got to get this tangible. So how can you tangibly teach this? So Rich is giving some great examples, I believe, to, I don't know who he was talking to there, but he's given some great examples. But it's really got to be tangible. So if you are teaching mindset or, how did you word that? Did you say mindset? Hold on, let me make sure. Those of us who are, sorry, where did that go? Teaching mindset, yeah. Then you've really got to figure out what the mindset is, like how to beat imposter syndrome. Maybe that's what they're dealing with. They're entrepreneurs who can't sell any more than they already have sold because they keep, screwing themselves up throughout the process. Or you're teaching someone how to be more confident, okay? So it's like, how do you be more confident? Well, that's still not super tangible, but that might be the problem they're struggling with. So then maybe it is you teach them how to be more confident in their business, but the strategy, the actual teaching in the course is the mindset. A lot of course creation, a lot of marketing, a lot of all of this is selling them what they want and giving them what they need. So they need mindset help, but they just know they need to be more confident, or that they are struggling with imposter syndrome, right? So sell them what they want, give them what they need is always my strategy there. Okay, a few more minutes for questions. So if you're wanting to join, you still have a few more minutes. Thank you to those of you who've joined so far. I haven't seen all of the names come through, but I've seen them pop up on my phone. So, okay. There we go. Is it possible to know exactly who our audience is and what they want? You choose that, right? And as far as an existing audience, because I know this came from somebody who has an existing audience. So as far as an existing audience, this is where asking them, this is where getting in the trenches, sending them surveys, sending them information type situations where they can self-qualify as someone who fits in a certain group, right? So if I have 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube and I send out a survey and 1,000 people fill it out, then I can take that sampling and say, well, they're reflective of the 100,000 people on my channel, and a third of them are these people, a third of them are these people, and whatever else. So you can send out surveys, and so it is definitely possible to get closer to knowing who they are than you probably are right now. I have a good knowledge base about a few specific things that others may be interested in, but don't feel like an expert. I'm constantly learning. Okay, so this is imposter syndrome all in itself. We're all constantly learning. We're all consistently learning and growing, and you will never know everything there is to know about a topic or anything, okay? You will never know everything there is about this, right? But what I can promise you, okay? What I can promise you is that you know more than they do. And that's the best way I know how to put it. You know more than they do, and your knowledge is what they need. So just because you don't know everything there is to know about a topic, you know more than your students do. And knowing more than your students do is all it takes to qualify to teach a course on something, okay? So Tamra said, Laura answered yeah. Okay. She asked if it was live or recorded. It is recorded, and then we have the Hustle and Grit Club to ask questions and the live Q&A calls that you get as a bonus for buying right now. Okay, a couple more questions. If you guys want to get in, you need to do it now. And then, okay, let's see what this last question is. So, no audience, and am not confident that I have a right to try and teach. Oh, this is an expansion on the last one. There's plenty of free options out there. That's a limiting mindset. Okay, let me back up. She's basically saying, I don't feel like an expert enough. I know a lot about it, but I don't feel like an expert, and there's a lot of free information out there. Anybody can learn anything they want to for free on the internet. It's a thing. What courses do is give a specific person's viewpoint, and if you build a know, like, and trust factor with your audience, if they trust you, they want to learn from you. They don't care about Joe Smo over here on the internet that teaches it for free. They want to learn it from you. Also, courses are bundling it up in a ready-to-go system. So it's kind of the same thing as saying, well, somebody could learn to bake a cake on the internet. Why do they need to hire me to make their wedding cake? You see the difference? Like, yeah, they totally could. They could go get the eggs and the recipe and the flour and the icing and learn how to do fondant and learn how to decorate the cake and make their own wedding cake. But what they don't want to do is make their own wedding cake. They want it already done for them. So most people who are going to buy a course don't care about what's already out there for free because they want that person that they trust to put it all together for them, right? So it's a limiting mindset, completely a limiting belief and a limiting mindset that you don't have enough to teach and that nobody would want it because stuff is already out there for free. I promise. Okay. Will you help with the selling content and pitches for our course? I teach in the course. So please understand that this is not a one-on-one experience. It is a course. You do have access to me for questions in those arenas. But it's, like I'm not going to be specifically going through your course with a fine-tooth comb. You can submit your launch audit. I will go through that and other bonuses that come with the course that allow you some hands-on help. But as far as the selling content and the pitches, yes, I teach that in the course. So you will learn in the course how to sell on a webinar. You'll learn in the course how to sell within a Facebook group. You'll learn in the course how to sell with emails. So there's a lot of selling and actually getting it done in the course. So Christy, yay! So glad that you signed up. I can't see everybody's name right now because my phone is not letting me see them. But thank you to those of you who've already signed up. I'm going to restart my camera. It's going to be jumpy. For anybody who joined late, just know it's going to be jumpy. Oh, and I had my hair pushed behind my ear. Thank you guys for being here so very much. I had a ton of fun. You can still purchase the course for a few more days, but you're going to start losing bonuses. So if you do want to purchase, you want to do it now, especially to get this cool shirt and the launch audit, which is really, really useful. It's a way to get my eyes specifically on your launch. Rich says, in my world, LinkedIn is used to look at history, reputation, and credibility. How do you offer a course in that field that differs from our day job? So the thing with that is, again, you're building trust with your audience. So if you know how to do it, if you have done it, if you have the experience and you're like, I know how to do this thing, I promise. People don't care that they could get that information somewhere else or they've seen that information similarly for somewhere else, right? And they like that it's in a truncated format. So if someone could pay $27, let's just use that as an example. I have no clue what you charge for a course on that until you go through it. But if someone could pay $27 to shortcut their way, it is worth their $27. It's a shortcut. Remember that. Your course is a shortcut for them, okay? Okay. Let's see. Do you offer a course for someone that has an established channel and wants to take it to the 100K level? My YouTube Rockstars course is my only YouTube course, but it is specific to growth and growing your business alongside your channel, so it would definitely help. Okay. Do I offer consulting? Yes. Yes, I do. It is much more expensive than the course, though. So I don't know if that's something that you would want, but if you do, just email us and we can send you any rates or anything on that. All right, so what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and sign off here and stop the Q&A here. But if you haven't jumped in and you want in on these webinar bonuses and you were waiting until the last minute, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, okay? After I end this, you've got 5 more minutes. So until 2:20 Eastern or, 1:20 Central, 12:20 Mountain, 11:20 Pacific, I guess. Let's go with that. You can have the bonuses that are offered on the webinar. And then once that is over, those bonuses, the t-shirt and the launch bonus, go away. The launch audit goes away. You will still continue to get the other bonuses we talked about, but those start to go away after tomorrow. Okay, so make sure if you want to join, you join now. And thank you guys so very much. Rochelle, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Rich, thank you so kindly, everybody. I'm trying to see who else commented. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye, y'all.